What is up, everybody? It is I, Ronin, and today I'm coming at you with learning how to play for Marincess. Also, if audio quality is a little different, I am sorry. I recently moved to a new place, and this is the first time I'm doing it in, so yay. But anyways, back to the video. So, Marincess. Marincess are a archetype of water cyberse monsters, used by, I think her name was Owie and Vrains, for a little bit, but essentially, they are a very, very basic Link climb deck that's original gimmick was using Marincess Seahorse to climb to the Link-free Marincess Marbled Rock, but later that strategy got shifted to making like Marincess Wonder Heart or Great Bubble Reef, but we'll get into that in a second. Yeah, I think the best way to start this would be to show just a test hand. It seemed to work well last time, so I'm going to show you again, because basically all you need to get full combo in this deck is Seahorse plus a extender, which is either going to be Mandarin or Sea Archiver. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the test hand. Alright, welcome to the test hand. With this hand, you can basically do any combo you need to for this deck to work, but we do have the most basic one, so we'll start with that. So it's going to start with normal summoning your Marincess Seahorse, and then linking it away for your Marincess Blue Slug, which will lock you into water monsters, but upon link summon, it lets you add back a water monster to your hand. Well, a Marincess monster to your hand. So we activate the effect to get back our Seahorse. Then Seahorse's effect makes it so that she can special summon herself to a zone that a Marincess Link monster points to. In this case, our Blue Slug. After which, we will then link our Seahorse again to summon our Marincess Sea Angel. When she is link summoned, you are allowed to search a Marincess spell, in which case it is going to be the field spell Marincess Battle Ocean. So we are going to go ahead and grab that. After this, we are going to use the effect of the Marincess Mandarin in our hand in order to special summon it to a zone that a Marincess Link points to, because we control two Marincess monsters. So we target the Marincess Sea Angel, special summon it. After this, we go ahead and special summon our Coral Anemone using these two. From there, we're able to use Coral Anemone's effect to revive a water monster with 1500 or less attacks, so we're going to go with Marincess Seahorse once more. After which, we go ahead and link away our two monsters again, this time summoning Marincess Crystal Heart. Requires two water monsters, as unaffected by your opponent's monster effects while it's in the extra monster zone. And during the damage step, if it battles an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster is unaffected by card effects except its own. And then when this card or your Marincess Link monster this card points to is targeted for attack, you can send a Marincess monster from your hand to the grave. For that battle, your monster cannot be destroyed by battle and you take no battle damage. However, the next step though, and this is very important, you activate the Battle Ocean, because its effect will proc when you link summon your big Marincess monster. Because now we do have our two Link 2s, so we're able to go into one of our Link 4s, which can be Marincess Wonder Heart or Marincess Great Bubble Reef. Marincess Wonder Heart, it makes it so that once per battle during damage calc, if it battles a monster as a quick effect, you can special summon one of the Marincess monsters equipped to it, and it cannot be destroyed by that battle, and then you take no damage from that battle. And then at the end of the turn, the monster you special summoned gets pushed back into to equip. And if it in its owner's possession is destroyed by a bonus card effect, you can special link for your lower Marincess from your graveyard. It's okay with battle-heavy decks. I much prefer Marincess Great Bubble Reef, though. It also requires two or more water monsters. And once per turn during each standby phase, you can banish a water from your field or grave in order to draw a card. Additionally, each time that a monster is banished face up, gains 600 attack for each until the end of the turn. Then finally, you can send a water monster from your hand to the grave to special summon a banished Marincess monster, i.e. the one that you banished off of it before, so you can kind of get it back, so you kind of have a loop that way. This is a hard one for turn, so we generally go with that one. After which you can activate two effects. So you can kind of chain block here. So I'm going to start by using Battle Ocean's effect, which makes it so that when a Marincess is link summoned with Crystal Heart as a material, that monster is unaffected by your opponent's card effect so long as it remains on the field. And when you link summon a Marincess monster from the extra monster zone, you can equip free Marincess links with different names from your graveyard to the link summon monster. So that's pretty cool. So now then we are going to go ahead and also chain block with Coral Anemone's effect, like so, which is going to go ahead and get us the Seahorse back in hand. And then we are going to be using the effect of our Battle Ocean to go ahead and equip free link monsters. Play around Mech Knights, I guess. And yeah, that's basically how it tends to go. You have towers with 4,600 and a free draw into possibly a hand trap with 600 more attack on the way. So yeah, basically during the next standby phase, you activate your Bubble Reef's effect, like so. You can really banish anything, but probably don't banish your own monster. So banish the Slug in order to get a draw, which is going to draw us our Crown Tail, which is kind of a hand trap. Ideally, you want to draw into the good Marincess hand traps. Like they have a themed Imperm, for example. Like that's always a really good one to draw into. But yeah, that's basically how the deck works. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and there's a lot of ways to sort of go about doing that basic combo, as it just really requires you have the ability to put Bubble Reef, Blue Slug, Sea Angel, and one more thing on the field. And now, when we go back to the deck, we'll go over all the ways you can go about doing that. So I'll see you guys there. Alright then, now to the deck. We did mention there are several other important cards here, so let's go over what they do. Whenever Blue Tang is normal or special, you can send a Marincess from your grave deck to the grave, except for itself. And if it's sent to the grave as material for the link summon of a water monster, you can check the top 3 and add a Marincess card from your hand, shuffle it into the rest into your deck. So that's pretty good because you can summon it, send like your Mandarin, after which you can link it away for your Blue Slug, which will activate its own effect, which will potentially grab you the extender you need, like, I don't know, maybe Mandarin, maybe your Seahorse, just something. So that's pretty cool. We have Crown Tail at 1, which is kind of like a battle hand trap. It's fine at 1, even with Desires, because it usually doesn't come up. But basically, during damage calc, if a monster battles another monster, you can send another Marincess monster from your hand to the grave to special summon it from your hand, and then the damage you take from that battle is halved. And at the start of the damage step, if an opponent's monster attacks, you can banish it from the grave to make it so you take no battle damage that is less than or equal to the total link rating of Marincess link in your grave times 1,000. So that's pretty good if you have one of your big ones. Then we have Marincess Pascalis, which when it's normal or special, lets you special a Marincess from your hand in defense position except for itself. And during the main phase, except the turn it was sent to the grave, you can banish it from the grave to target a Marincess spell in the grave to put it back into your hand, sort of like allowing you to recover your Battle Ocean, which is pretty good. And the last monster we really have to go over is Sea Archiver, which whenever a monster is normal or special to a zone a link monster points to, you can special summon it from your grave or hand, but banish it when it leaves the field. It's essentially Mandarin with more generic steps, so it's very good to have. Now, though, we'll go over the rest of the Marincess cards. We kind of already went over Battle Ocean, which basically just turns your big Marincess monsters into giant towers so long as you use Crystal Heart to summon them. We have our Marincess Wave, which is the themed Marincess Imperm. You just have to control a Marincess link. So it's pretty good to use. It can even be activated from hand if it's linked to or higher. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty alright. We also have Marincess Snow, which is kind of like a revival effect. It makes it so that whenever a Marincess link you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can bring back Marincess link from the extra deck with a lower link rating. and is unaffected by opponent's card effects while you control it. So it's kind of a good recovery option. I would say you could maybe run this at 2, but I find it fine at 1. Now the rest of the stuff is kind of just generic tech. Ash Blossom in case we need to ash something. Lightning Storm in case we need to blow up a field. Paw of Desires because there's very few things we care about banishing in this deck, and even the things we do care about are ran at more than 1. Signet Mining because that gets you half your combo. 1 for 1 because it can summon a Marincess out of the deck. Foolish Burial because it can send a Marincess or any monster to the grave. Called by the Grave because this deck is extremely susceptible to hand traps. And Actual Imperm because, hand traps are cool. Now for the extra deck, we already went over a lot of it with that replay, everything that's relevant. The only other things we have to go over are like Marbled Rock, which is the link free, and the original gimmick was sort of like a 1-card link free. Requires 2 or more water monsters, lets you target Marincess in the grave except for itself to add to your hand as a hard one's return. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send a Marincess from your hand to the grave. And for that battle, monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no damage. So it's a good way to stall against attack-heavy decks, but that's kind of it. We also have Bahamut Shark, which lets us summon Toad for free, so that's pretty nice. And then we're actually running number 4 Stealth Kraken, which is, I think, a very neat card. Requires 2 level 4 water monsters, turns all face-up monsters on the field to water. And once per turn during the main phase, as a quick effect, you can destroy a water monster your opponent controls, which they all are now. And if you do, you burn them for half of its attack on the field. And if this Xyz summon card is destroyed, you can special summon Kraken spawns from the extra deck up to the number of materials it had. Then you attach a water monster from your graveyard to each of them as materials. So, because you'll always have 2 materials, we run 2 Kraken spawn, which also require 2 level 4 water monsters. And once returned in the main phase as a quick effect, it lets them destroy a water monster your opponent controls, kind of like the original Kraken. And if it's special summoned by a number of Xyz monsters' effects and is destroyed, you can special summon other Kraken monsters from your graveyard up to the number of materials it's had, and then you can attach a water monster from your graveyard to them as materials. So when Kraken is destroyed, it summons the spawns, and the spawns resummon the Kraken, so that's all very cool. Now for the extra deck, it's pretty basic stuff. We have 1 red reboot for trap-heavy matchups, free Forbidden Droplets for problematic removal, free Dark Ruler No More to help break boards, 1 Feather Duster, just because it's a little bit easier against back row heavy decks, 1 Abyss Dweller, in case we need to worry about the graveyard, as we can make this fairly easily, free Lancia, in case we need to deal with the graveyard more, and my tech card a little bit of the week, and kind of the whole reason I built this deck, White Howling. So, White Howling is a trap card that makes it so that if you control a water monster, you can target a spell in your opponent's grave to banish it, and if you do, for the rest of this turn, you negate all spell effects on your opponent's field. That's honestly a very powerful effect, especially in a going first situation, assuming your opponent has a lot of spells, which usually they will. So, however, it does require you control a water monster, and I kind of just felt like Marincess was the best way to implement this in the deck because, they basically make an invincible water monster. That's their whole gimmick. And I just think this is a really cool trap card. But, yeah, that's the deck. So, if you're new here, we just go over a replay or 2. I show you sort of how the deck works in practice, what I liked, what I didn't like, etc. and so forth. And, yeah, I will see you guys in the replays. Alright, welcome to the replay with Matthias VX. We are tab as per usual. And, yeah, this is basically a very good hand, but it also shows sort of like just how sheerly good this deck is at recovery. But you'll see. So let's get into it. So we are going first this game, starting with the same basic combo that I showed before. Blue Slug into Seahorse, Seahorse into Angel, Angel into Search, Mandarin. Go ahead and make our 2 Link monsters after making the Anemone. Activate the Battle Ocean, Link Summon Bubble Reef, get our equips, get our Seahorse back for recovery next turn, and pass it up there. After which we banish the Angel from the grave to draw a card. Unfortunately, not drawing into much with the Sea Archiver, but we still have a 5300 towers, so that's pretty swanky. And our opponent is playing Shadows, so they're going to go ahead and send the Shaddoll Dragon, which will go ahead and pop a Spell Trap, which is going to be our Battle Ocean, which is unfortunate. And then they're going to set free and pass on the set Windy. Whereas now on to us. Thankfully, we do have another Battle Ocean, so we're going to go ahead and activate it. He is going to activate the Schism to bring back his dragon. At which point we are going to go ahead and just normal summon up our blue Tang, which is going to go ahead and send something to the graveyard. Then he's going to Torrential, chaining the Dynamiscus to pop our Battle Ocean once more. Annoying, but the field is blowed up, and we are able to send the Piscalis in order to get more recovery later if we need it. And we are going to go ahead and put back our Crystal Heart, so that we still have that resource. Then we're going to Desires, drawing into the 1-for-1, which is super great for us. Activate it by discarding the Sea Archiver because we can get it back from the graveyard anyways. Summoning our Mandarin from the deck. After which we're going to go into Blue Slug effect to put back our Bubble Reef. Use the Seahorse in hand to special summon this, which is then going to let us get our Sea Archiver out of the graveyard. After which we're going to make the Coral Anemone, using its effect to go ahead and revive our Seahorse, making the Marbled Rock to go ahead and grab back our Battle Ocean. At which point we're going to activate it, re-special summon Bubble Reef, re-equip, basically be in the same position we were at the start of the game. Attack over the Hedgehog, the opponent's going to go ahead and add Fusion from his deck. And then we're going to pass, then we're going to go ahead and do our draw. Getting the Called, which is pretty good. We also have the Marincess Wave in hand. Again, kind of that themed Imperm, which is pretty great, and because we control the Link Free or higher, we are able to use it. So from there, he's going to activate the Shaddoll Fusion to get a Construct. Construct is going to send. Squamata is going to activate Chain the Clown. The Squamata is going to send the Wendy, and then our Construct is going to send the Rook. After which Wendy is going to activate to go ahead and get a Falco. Activating Schism to go ahead and flip it up. Face-up monster is banished, so we proc and get attack points. However, Falco was also flipped up to special summon a Shaddoll from the grave. So it's going to go ahead and summon the dragon from the graveyard. Making the Clotheap, using the Construct effect in the grave in order to add a spell trap back to hand, so getting the Ruck. Then our opponent's going to summon the Selune. Artemis, sorry. Activate the Super Poly to go ahead and discard Ruck and make another Construct, which is going to send yet another card, as well as get some Clotheap recovery and a pop from the dragon. So we're going to pop the Battle Ocean. Clotheap's going to summon out the Wendy, and Construct is going to send the Beast to draw a card. Which is then going to immediately normal summon Ariel. Link away into Boral Sword Dragon, and then attempt to attack. He's going to attack, try to activate the Boral Sword effect. However, we still do have our Wave in hand, so we are then going to activate it, which has the additional effect, because we control Link Free or higher Marincess. Now all of our Marincess are also unaffected by all of our opponent's card effects this turn. So we negate the Boral Sword, gets out the Dynamiscus. So it's going to crash into us, going to attempt to activate Construct, crash again, and at that point we're going to win the game. So that's basically what the deck does. Like, it just continues to make the same big monster. I almost think of this as like a lesser version of Salamangreat, because with Salamangreat, their whole thing was like they could constantly recover that one pretty strong board state. It concluded like the Omni Negate and the Roar and all that type of stuff. Marincess is in a similar vein where it does that as well. It just does it less good because it makes a big towers monster. And that's kind of its whole MO. So, yeah. It's kind of a boring deck. I wouldn't say I was the hugest fan of it. but it's definitely a well-designed archetype, and what it promises to do, it will do fairly easily. So I can at least give it that. But yeah, that all being said, let me know what you guys think of the deck. Anything I could have done differently, anything I did right, any decks you want me to try. Always open to suggestions. And yeah, like if you liked, comment if you had something to say, and subscribe if you want some more. This has been Ronin, signing off.